Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mentorship That Works panel. I am Dorothy, joining in from Ghana, and I'll be your moderator and speaker for this session. This session means so much to me because mentorship has been so relevant in my journey. And joining me are these incredible women who have had experiences with mentorship across so many fields in academia, industry, advocacy, and community. So I'd like them to be joining me soon from the backstage, and we'll get this conversation going. Awesome. We have
Hello, everyone.
Cecilia.
My name
We
is
have
Cecilia.
Aisha.
Oh,
Awesome.
sorry.
No worries. Go ahead. Introductions can begin. Hi, Cecilia.
Okay, my name is Cecilia from Mozambique, and um, sorry, one more. Okay, so I'm Cecilia today from Mozambique. I'm joining straight from Maputo, and I'm so happy to be in this panel with Dorothy and Aisha. So, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And what Cecilia forgot to mention is that she won Outstanding PyLadies Award. So congratulations. We're so proud of you. Thank you so much, Cecilia. I
Thank
would like to
you.
share a fun fact about yourself. A fun fact.
About me?
Yes.
Oh, like I love learning, I love explore the world, and I love talking. And it's something that I learned that I love. So I love talking, but before I didn't have this clear idea that talking is good, and if you talk with the right people, it's awesome. So I think the fun fact is that
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Cecilia. We love that you like talking because we're going to need a lot of that today. And going to Aisha, would like to introduce
Hi
yourself.
everyone.
Hi.
Hi everyone. My name is Aisha. I'm from Nigeria. I'm actually joining from Toronto, and it's like 4:44 a.m. here. I'm so excited to be on the panel. It's a privilege to be talking to such amazing women on the panel today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And so let's begin. Oh, I forgot. I'm Dorothy, software engineer here in Ghana, and I love to mentor, and I have been mentored so many times in my journey. So this topic really is something that I'm very passionate about. So I'll be doubling as a moderator and speaker for this session as well. So on to the very first question. Let's talk about our journeys. So many women in tech start as mentees and later become mentors. So can you share your journey on how mentorship prepared you and to guide the next generation, started from mentee to mentor? Could you share your journey? We can start same order, Cecilia. Hi, Cecilia. Can you hear me?
okay, okay. I started as a mentee. So I had good mentors at university, professionally. Also, I have good mentors who shaped me to be the mentor that I am today. So I've learned from this experience, and I used to say, as a mentor, you have to be a mentee. So I have a forever mentee and also a mentor. In this um, trajectory, I have learned a lot of social skills. And the other thing that I learned from the social skills is these social skills matter how you interact with people, how you collaborate in a project, how you talk, communication, and how you create a safe environment so that other people can collaborate. So I have learned that this mentorship process can shape you to the it can shape you or can help you to have your profession goal like the hard skills. There's something that I used to say to most of my mentees is like uh, technical skill you can learn. You can like have time to learn and be expert on that. But social skills, something that is quite different. Some There are some people that can are born with the some of the skills, but others have to learn like doing. So most of the time, I used to say that it's good to have someone who can correct you or can shape you on these social skills so that you can master the other skills that is like in you. Like self-confidence is one of the things that we struggle. Even me, I used to struggle with the self-confidence. So those are the some things that I have learned since then.
I love that. Thank you so much, Celia. And as you rightly said, social skills are something that actually somebody has to hold your hand to really learn. Because technical skills are really easy to obtain, but social skills are one that you need help with that. And glad that you were able to get that, and now you're mentoring others. Thank you so much, Cecilia, for sharing. Aisha, how was your journey?
So my story is very interesting. I don't remember having mentors when I was in school. Um, but I had like active mentorship for the first time that really changed my life. When I went to PyCon in Bilbao. So I met Naomi and she became my mentor. And that experience really shaped me because this is something I usually say like when people are scared like, oh, I don't know where to find a mentor, I just walked up to her after a keynote speech and just asked her to be my mentor. It was very bold. I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm not even a bold person. I'm a very shy person to begin with. So that single act of seeing somebody I admire, listening to their talk, having a basis for bonding, because then I was new to Python, new to programming, new to everything. That really helped me um, just in my journey later on. And she was such a great mentor. She taught me active listening, taught me how to give constructive feedback, taught me how to have empathy. She should be basically not by teaching me, but by exhibiting all these qualities, right? And back to Cecilia's points on soft skills, that yes, you can teach somebody how to code, or there's so many tutorials there, but just having a mentor has a way of taking you to the next level. You have somebody that can advocate for you, even when in spaces where you're not there. They can be your own personal cheerleader when things are like down, when you don't know, where you're going to go in the next you don't know where next to go, like something like that. So that for me has shaped how I've become a mentor, where I'm not teaching people what to do. They could probably figure out that solution with Stack Overflow and Google and now AI. It's almost like having a second resounding ear to be like, you know what, you're on the right path, or you're almost there, but you need to take a detour. So those kind of things help me shape the kind of mentor that I am today, which a lot of people talk about IQ, intelligent quotient. Not a lot of people talk about EQ, and EQ is so emotional. That's emotional quotient or emotional intelligence. That happens to be so important in the field that we're in, especially being underrepresented, especially when you're in the room, you're one of two people, or the only one that looks like you in the room, right? When you're in this time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Having another resounding ear is absolutely necessary. Thanks a lot for sharing, Aisha. And my experience mirrors most of the women in tech, their experience as well. I was somebody who started off as somebody who really needed direction. I didn't know where to go. I was everywhere. Game development, front end, back end, AI. I was everywhere. I needed a sense of direction. And one mentor actually recommended me to a coach, a career coach. And that is where I was able to realize it's called unrealized strengths that you don't even know you have. So taking certain talks, having started to talk to them, like certain exercises got me to see that, oh my goodness, so I'm able to do so, so, and so, and so. And I was able to find that through a mentor. I have so many mentors that have recommended me to speaking engagements, hackathons, to be able to take up certain opportunities, make me bolder. So having that also filled me with the zeal to also give back. So I started with PyLadies, Ghana, Python Ghana, and the journey has been really fulfilling to see people's progress. It's amazing. So being given and giving out to is something that I'm really passionate about. So our journey is really awesome. I love that we all took that trajectory. And that zeroes in very nicely to the second question, which is across Africa, mentorship takes so many forms. We have the structured programs that are out there. We have peer-to-peer mentoring. We have the informal guidance as well. So, to you, which models have you experienced specifically, and what makes them effective for women in tech? So, we can flip the structure now. Aisha, you can
Yeah.
begin. Then I come in the middle, and Cecilia, you end it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so I feel like I've experienced all three in one way, shape, or form. So at work, there's a very structured mentoring process, especially when you join the company and then you're being onboarded, peer-to-peer mentoring, the informal mentoring where somebody just wants to ask you for an advice while you give a talk or they just reach out to you randomly. Um, I find that I don't know that there's one form of mentoring better than the other. I just find that at different stages in your career, in your journey, in your life, you would need a little bit, you would need one or the other, or a little bit of all three, right? Depending on what you're going through. So the ones that have been most impactful, um, to me, I would say has been the peer to peer. It's very personalized. It's very one on one. It's you don't have to, unlike structured mentoring when there's like a template, there's an expectation, there's like a format, there's like deliverables at the end of the
Mm.
mentorship cycle of what is expected of you and a mentee. I feel like that puts sometimes pressure, and it takes away from the natural flow of the mentorship style, right? So I could have a mentor, and for 45 minutes, we're just chatting about life. We're just chatting about what's going on in each of us. And I find that, and then maybe use the last 15 minutes or 15 minutes, not the last 15 minutes, but 15 minutes to actually talk about the actual reason we're here today. Because I'm much of a, if I'm much of a, I'm not saying I'm much of a talker, but like I'm much of a, I like a very well-rounded individual, like to be my mentor. Just so because tech is just one aspect of our lives. Our career, our jobs is not our entire identity, right? So, so many times I find that peer to peer works the most for me. And whenever I need like, oh, just a quick advice, it's always good to have people you can reach out to just for that moment. I just want advice. I don't want like a long winded mentorship cycle. I just want advice in the moment. Um. So yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. Peer-to-peer seems to be most effective in our ecosystem, where you could reach out to your people informally and whatnot. And for me, specifically, peer-to-peer, the community-driven one, informal mentorship is what has really helped me. And if I was to recommend a structure to anyone, yes, if you have the structured mentorship and guidance, it goes a long way to help the individual for them to know what's coming next. But having that informal session gets them to really show who they really are and ask all the questions that they really have in them, other than them being forced to follow a predefined structure. So for me, if I would like to recommend a structure that would really help, I would say let's informal, community-driven mentorship is the way to go. So thanks a lot, Cecilia.
Yeah, and I love what you shared. I think it's similar on my side too. I've experienced the three models, but the one that I still using like most of the time is peer-to-peer in informal way, um, because it's like I don't know how it's spontaneous. Yeah, it is spontaneous. You don't need to think more about something that you need to say specific like uh, and it's good because it's like brainstorming and you can have like good advice from this brainstorming um, approach. So here in Mozambique, in our community, we mostly use peer-to-peer and on informal way because it's hard to put everyone together and follow structure. And there is also this people are afraid to share something that is like personally like if you it's like you are afraid to be judged sometimes. So if you have peer to peer in informal way, it's good.
Awesome. Now, for the sake of time, we'll take questions one to each speaker. And this one, Cecilia, I'd like you to take this. So, beyond coding, mentorship helps women develop leadership, advocacy, and community building skills. Have you seen these benefits manifest in your own experience or your mentees or in the Python community in Africa as a whole?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yes, I it's like sometimes you have to stop and do this like auto evaluation and also evaluation of what you do. So in the past year, I wasn't aware about this outcome, and after the award, I stopped and I think, oh, why I got this award, why I'm doing, and for who I'm trying to build this um, these soft skills in the community, for example, with the people that work with me. I used to say work, but it's not like work, it's collaborate. So in the past year, I have noticed all this process of mentorship and how we had like good outcomes, even with the people that are leaders now, like Eliette is one of uh, our best mentees. We have several ones, but the thing is like taking this ownership that like result of a process, like a process that uh, I follow all this. It's not the structure, but I have learned more than I thought that I have learned because we don't have this time to like having this self evaluation. But it's something that I need to introduce in the mentorship peer to peer informal way, and like people that already like developed like soft skills like leadership skills, how they feel, what did they took from all this process of mentorship. I think it's something that we should like try to implement and see if we are doing the right thing as a mentorship process or not.
Awesome. For this take. Um, we have Sumaiya joining us. Would be bringing her on. Another amazing lady. Welcome, Sumaiya.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hi. You'd
I'm
like
all
to
right.
briefly
How are
introduce
you?
yourself?
All right. Thank you so much. My name is Sumaiya Nalukwago. I'm an IT professional, a tech community lead with Google Developer Groups, Cloud Bar, and Women Techmakers Bar. I've as well as been a volunteer for PyCon Uganda since its inception in 2023 till date. And I spoke at my first PyCon Africa conference just this year in Johannesburg. And yeah, that's basically it. I love the community and I'm in for anything for the community. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Then thank you so much and congratulations on your speaking engagements. Now, the this question actually I prepared for it to go to you, so it's very good timing that you joined us. So this one say mentorship is a two-way street, right? You have mentees influence the mentors, and how would you say that has shaped your perspective on leadership or teaching? How have mentees influenced you as a mentor?
Mentees have influenced me as a mentor in a way that as you're guiding these people to walk their journey in tech, you are also learning because if you're showing someone how they can collaborate, then you are as well learning how you can collaborate better because you are improving your skills. Then also given that you are sharing your knowledge with these people who are maybe new in the industry or trying to navigate their journey in the industry, it also gives you expertise because you will be able to mention that maybe I mentored 17 people in just 1 year and maybe they are now working with the top tech companies in the country, which will also build your influence as an individual, but also give you leverage because numbers make you move. So if you're able to say that I've mentored over 100 people, then it will position you higher than other people. Then also the fact that mentees will get to remind you of something that you learned way back because you're now teaching them something that you maybe did a couple of years ago. It will help you remember each and every other thing, and I feel like it's really a good thing for someone who is really interested in knowledge transfer. I feel like if you keep on sharing your knowledge with new people in the industry, not only improving the industry but also bringing new people in and helping them settle in. So I really believe that it's always like really a two-way thing. And also mentees also get to add value in you because there is something that you will definitely learn from them that you did not know. I submit.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sumaiya. Mentees definitely do add value to us. Thanks so much for your submission. So this question goes to Aisha. Women in tech in Africa, we face unique challenges. We have limited access to resources, cultural biases, and underrepresentation in tech roles. How have mentorship programs helped overcome these hurdles, and have they even helped at all?
Yeah, in some cases, so I'll give you an example of one thing that happened in one of the Django Girls we organized in Lagos. So you know how there are internally displaced people in a region. So we had that issue where northern Nigeria has is going through Boko Haram crisis, and so a lot of people are internally displaced. So we did a Django Girls event way back, not very recent, but we did a Django Girls event where we organize specifically for the internally displaced persons. So there are a couple of things that go into that. So when you're internally displaced, you don't have resources, right? So if you're bringing these women to and girls to a um, to learn how to code, to give them, you have to give them somewhat of the tools, right? Secondly, they have gone through trauma of being moved from their home, right? So how do you make sure that the mentors of that day are what's the word, are understanding, or they have some sort of training to understand what they've been through, and also the cultural implications of where they're coming from, right? Because this is from northern Nigeria, very conservative community, right? So one of the things that I know that we did then was got sponsors who could give old refurbished laptops, right? And this helped in the sense that we're not just teaching them how to code for the day and sending them back home, because we know that they're not living in good conditions. So what we did was we gave them laptops and send them home with the laptops, and try to get the mentors to follow up with them afterwards to make sure that they're learning, right? Um, so another example I would say is uh, that's an example of not having enough resources. Another example would be the cultural context of being underrepresented, right? When you're coming from, I've worked with a lot of women who are coming from non-tech backgrounds. In short, I know somebody who right now who is a software engineer and organizes PyCon Nigeria. She came from a lab scientist background. She came from a background that has absolutely nothing to do with tech. You could say maybe there are transferable skills, quite all right, but has absolutely nothing to do with tech. And then coming into tech and feeling like you don't, you're not sure whether there's a place for you. you're not sure whether there would be a way to transfer um your knowledge that you already have, or if you can even learn, right? Because of how varied these two, lab science or sciences with like tech, for example. So one of the things with like when she got a mentor, she was able to push through that phase of not being represented, especially when you can see people who look like you, who have had similar stories, right? At the end of the day, we're all
Mm-hmm.
trying to share stories, we're all trying to share where we've been, not even our
Mm-hmm.
stories, but stories of other people. And so she was able to push through and then get into tech, and now she's a software developer. Who's also underrepresented, helping other underrepresented folks get into the field. So I'm not even sure that long-winded answer just answered your question, but like that's literally how I've seen mentorship help address some of the challenges that comes, especially on our continent, and how challenging it can be. Right, even simple things like access to electricity in Nigeria, there's still no 24/7 electricity. That's still a luxury, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it did really answer the question and how mentorship is really surmounting these hurdles. So really good to share to know that mentorship is actually really making difference, not just in people's skills, but also in the resources that they have to access those skills. So final question to round this up. We have only 2 minutes to go. This goes to all speakers. So practical advice, what practical advice will you give to a mentee starting in Python or tech today? And what should mentors focus on to provide the most meaningful support? So in a few seconds, your take on this. Cecilia, let's start with you.
I think one of the advice is to don't be shy. I am a shy person, but I will advise to don't be shy. Ask whatever question you have in mind is one of the like I used to as an icebreaker. So don't shy. Laugh also. Don't be so nervous. But there is other that can follow this first advice. Just don't be afraid and don't be shy. Ask.
Don't be shy. I would say, thank you so much, Cecilia. I would say we should be clear on what you need as a mentee. Be very clear so that the mentor can help you. It's okay to say, I'm all over the place. I don't know what I need, but ask a lot of questions so that you can zero in down on the direction you want to take. And for mentors, I would say your presence matters better than perfection. You showing up for the mentee is much better than perfecting your flow with them before you show up. So Sumaiya, then Aisha rounds it up for us.
All right. Thank you so much. So this is general tech advice, not necessarily just for Python. So for the mentees, make sure you know what you want, just like Dorothy already mentioned. If you know that if you've spotted this kind of person who you would want to mentor you, reach out to them and get straight to the point. Do your homework, maybe if they are maybe experts in Python and Django, tell them maybe I've seen you work on Python projects and I would like assistance on this particular project. Like get straight to the point rather than hi-hiing in their LinkedIn DMs for no good reason. Just get straight to the point and ask them, and they will be able to to offer value. Then also make sure that you give them feedback. Create your own feedback loop, because someone will think that they are advice or their input was valuable if you tell them, oh, whatever advice you gave me was actually helpful, it helped me succeed in this and this particular project. Then now for the mentors, make sure you are willing to offer your knowledge, because these are people that do not know what exactly they are doing and they need assistance. And if we really want a brighter tech future for each one of us, then we need to be able to help the people that are way below us. Then still once again for the mentees, make sure you're also offering value and find a community, because in tech you can never grow alone. You really need a community. You need someone to walk the journey with you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sumaiya. Aisha.
I
Yeah.
think the final advice for mentors, because I know we need to go, is to be a sponsor. Just advocate for your mentee, help them get in spaces that they ordinarily cannot get into, and just enjoy what it means to be a mentor.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your journey and enjoy the rest of the Pioneer Bye.